Okay. Seems that we haven't been in this place in a while. Good point. What was the last, guys? What was the last time we've been here? 2 months. What? It seems like a long time. And look. Ooh, look. I can. I can hold this without hands. It's so cool. Wait. Everybody? Roll it! Welcome to Object Swiss is the normal YouTube show. Lots of tunes and stories to behold. Now let's get one them together. All the do and can together, mate. Arm slam. We are together and beyond. Arm swim. You're small, we stand tall with the title. Arm swim. What's the best show on YouTube? Arm swim. Where are you going on this? YouTube. What is on this? Arm swim. So we are now showing all objects with. Okay, you're right seeing here is the border of is the boiler of Flopia. Here we can see over here we can see the huge they're actually the smallest province, and this is Teetsboo Hickle. The most famous person living in Flopia after Shelty the King. Yeah, I am the leader of the National Police Department here. I love some crime, especially this one story. Where this boiler explode. What this boiler? Can I tell you what happened to this boiler once? Yeah, you will regret it, but it once exploded. What? And yes, you're probably wondering, yeah, that's bull crap. Well, you're wrong. Well, this actually did not happen in real life since Oswald doesn't exist. But in the canon, it did. It really did. And from the old form, I have a little a brick. It's one of the few remaining still intact. Teetsboo Hickle, are you Silas O'Reilly? Silas O'Reilly? No, I'm Japan. I'm Japanese. Silas O'Reilly is actually my and my second cousin. So let's start the show. Okay, starting today.
Going on. Harry.
Is the store is Domia.
Powering off.
Okay. What? Oh, where was I? Let's start. Okay, where was I? Oh, beneath the trees, up high above the trees, lie the Domia, Caledonia. This girl. She's like, what do you want from me? But little did she know she was a boiler. But little did she know her day would come to die. Macedonia. She was built with a type of coal called charcoal. But because if you put it on, if you mix this into water, it explodes like this. And releases chung oxide, a very, very poisonous, a very toxic gas. That no one cared. And she started, and she still erupted, and she still did this anyway. Every explosion kept a few more drops of water from emerging. Just kept a few more drops. Just a few more drops from emerging. Sometimes it would be a big drop, but sometimes it would be just little. In fact, she had to determine how big it was. Your drops were. She had this little smoke, little stack right here. If any gas escaped down here, it means that she would explode. Give her a humongous Russian. One day this thing was massaging her, and she was like, "Oh, why?" And she said, "Oh dear." The massager went, "I'm sorry, but Christmas or atheist? You don't believe in religion." Amsterdam. But she started to jiggle. But finally, she jiggled and juggled and triggled and truggled until finally one solid drop emerged. I could go on and on all day about this, but still not knew how it's even possible for her to get such kind of an accident like this. So anyway, the drop hit this, and I thought that wasn't serious because it was just a single drop, right? But more toxic gas meant more toxic stuff. more toxic stuff, and then more toxins. But this toxic oxide is radioactive, which is why it's toxic. It says all radioactive elements are toxic. It's just radioactive. Radioactive. It's radioactive, but and it forced it to give way. It wasn't a big flump. Little flip drops them. But due to the heating radiation, it was so cold that before any more harm could be done, the water just froze. Which would have been the end, but it turns out it was far from over. You see a time the protective barrier had a huge crack in it, which would lead to this huge, the world's biggest ever hole, but ever at all accident. The largest boiler accident in history, but we'll show you after we're back, when we're back to short break. Now it's time. The Chichifu Heckle. A Chichifu Heckle story. After pulling up tiles of hours of outlines, he and Chichifu Heckle had to have a break, so he did it by pulling on the very, very long stick. And he was like, oh, crap. I don't need this, he said. But then there was trouble. On the Petitza leaning town, there were bricks. A leaning town, slightly taller than the Domia. This tiny brick suddenly fell. Finally fell. And struck it hard on the Domia. Ow! She said. Luckily, they were able to fit the brick back into the tower, but left a scar on her. Because just a few minutes later, a singular drop formed into the shape, into the fuel tank. Fees. But the fees were dead. As they were already. And they're like, no. And to prevent this from ever happening again, he had to scale up the tower and pull up the defuse. A defuse heavier than the tower itself. But already there's a Chichifu Heckle and a very, very big jump has scaled the tower. without taking away any brick, without taking more than 10 bricks. Like, what? And one even splashed onto him in a liquid state. And all these are called blue bricks because of their look when they're in solid, when they're solidified, but when they're normal, when they're liquid, as they are normally, they turn into a very hot brown liquid. It's like, ah! Ow! Ow! Na na na, yeah, you, yeah, da dee doo da da, wow.
Fuck you, guy.
He said, but our body need to be shoved in further. Cocky coo. She's super heckle. But finally, they said, "What? Oh!" They said, "Finally, let's take down the tower since it is not since they can't survive a defuse." A Rowan checked it, but then it blowed, destroying the building. You can get out.
Hey Dad, guess what? This summer we can start our tour
He
of
was in
Ohio.
the molten, but it was already in the molten blue brick chamber, burning him, giving him blue.
Right. You don't have to worry about, going back on Sunday nights.
And at the original
Except for about
time,
here
he
Sunday
was.
nights.
It was a greenish color.
Maybe even one more time, babe.
He's the
Yeah.
only one in his family who was green. It's red, but then it turned him very, very red, and a very big head turd, giving him unique and iconic red. Oh, you. Okay, now the defuse can be set up. And it did. It was successful since he had to get out fast, and that there was no time. Time. It's time. It's of the essence. And then he says his famous words, "Until we meet again." Until we meet again. It's like, oh. For the first time in a long time, there's a mild explosion in there, or combustion. Because finally, the wave finally gave way. Because the separator finally gave way. But then she was on top of a glass building. There was not enough steam to warn about the accident. We knew the she would soon explode. Not that type of explosion. That's epilepsy. Daddy do that all. Whoa. What? Oh. Nah. Daddy do that all. Wow. And to put it to you this way, I'm gonna put it to you this way. Once there was a track, once they saw out that there was going to be a huge accident, it was far too late to report. Because yeah. Why do you do that all? And turns out Domia was shoddily built. She was shod. I mean, she could bend, twist, and bend however she liked, but keeping her steam inside. Keeping steam inside. But this steam was actually not water. It was toxic. It was toxic chalk oxide. The most toxic substance discovered. Like, even just one atom of it can kill. And over here, that's a thing for. That's a placeholder. That's what's a placeholder for. It's a placeholder for the water used for the Chung fuel from South Korea. It's Chung fuel from South Korea. And this was completely bonkers. But the Shally Bill version has no way to warn. So if it just tilted, it meant there's something wrong. They tried building a smokestack to get out the fuse if you wouldn't mount it, but the worst was already ready to be done. Because right before you could finish singing "Pickle My Toast with Fruit Sandwich," Domia exploded.
Powering on. Harry.
And what they could save it was the attack. It was devastating. Because of how much speed was being produced. In fact, it was the deadliest level was that it could hold around 20 million ounces of TNT. And there's those programs going, clunky, 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 What the heck? Because of heavy. This gas could be deadly. Over the course of the cyclical year tragedy, 205 people lost their lives in the initial impact, which were all the workers near Domia. And to everyone who exposed, were victims, none of them survived. Chemical reactions at the site still erupt to this day! And that's the story. What a what a day. We had a disaster, killing lots of people, tearing down a building. I wish this could happen again, but only once a year.
Yeah, I did too. I get paid tomorrow.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
You know what? Thanks, Trump. Yeah, it's all him.
Flank. Flip.
Mom likes Donald Trump.
Fuck him. I mean,
Wow.
Ambient, so what? So. Shit up the shits. If now listen. If I push this button, then Benito Mussolini would never existed. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la.
Mom's also a fan of Tra-la-la and Tra-la-lee.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Porcadillo, porca.
Porn star, what?
Okay. She says she's a mom, but really she's a priest. Okay, now we're back. Look. Yeah, I got we're shooting out fresh, reusable fuel. I never knew if this happens. It adds more energy. Dad, let's go to Chihuahua. Meryl will Meryl. The cucarachas have to die. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. better. Bros. Bros. In most countries, Dora teaches English, not Spanish. You know my. Sweet Caroline, Sweet Caroline, Saucy, saucy John, saucy, saucy. On saucy, saucy John, so saucy John, saucy, saucy John. I'm red. I'll get John L.D. her not for president, just to hang out with the bear and be. John F. Richard Nixon. Woodrow Bell. Since the what? Debut and let the blame and lose this tape. And that's it for today. Don't get chingity dink kabosh, kabosh. Don't get ching. And that's it for today. Don't get chingity dink kabosh. Don't get chingity, don't get chingity, don't get chingity.
So you need another 35 minutes of pooping. I love it for a while.
Don't get chingity dink kabosh. Don't get chingity, don't get dosh. Don't get chingity, don't get chingity, don't get chingity. And that's the end of this episode. Dosh. Don't get chingity, 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 don't. Don't get chunga, don't get chunga, don't get chingy, don't get chingy, don't get chingy, don't get chinga, don't get chinga, don't get chinga, don't Enclave.